What's up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? I'm not feeling very good today. So we got a surprise day off. And I thought I would rank the Saw franchise. I just recently went through and watched all the Saw movies, had a Saw marathon. And yeah, Saw. I personally, out of all the horror films out there, I think Saw is my favorite because one of my first memories is watching the first Saw. Came out in 2003, so I was 6. And my mother wasn't really against me watching horror movies or listening to the music that I liked, which is the one thing I agree with her parenting. You may not agree with that. You may not let your child watch horror movies. That's fine. I ain't judging you. I'm just saying I'm happy she let me watch horror movies because I'm such a big horror movie buff today. Hell, I went to college for it. So I don't think that would have happened had she not let me watch what I wanted to watch. But I vividly remember when the second one came out and I came home from school and she rented it from Blockbuster, and I was so fucking excited, dude. And anyway, so basically the Saw franchises came out as I've grown up. The first one came out when I was 6, and then every year after that. And yeah, I thought I would review it. So I don't have the tier list or anything. I'm just going to go down from Saw 10. I'm just going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. And my favorite one, I think, is going to shock you because I seem to be on an island with it, like with everything else. So, without further ado, here we go. So, I'm not going to summarize each movie. If you're here, I'm sure you've seen them. My least favorite Saw movie is Jigsaw. I fucking hate Jigsaw. I went and saw it in theaters. I was very, very excited when this movie came out. I dragged my stepdad to the theater to go see it because at this point it had been, 5-7 years since Saw the final chapter came out. And I was fucking psyched, dude. And drug him to the theater and I hated it. I just hated it. The characters were dumb. I mean, okay, look, all right. In the Saw movies, the characters aren't always smart, all right? So a lot of the critiques you can apply to this movie, you can apply to the other ones. But in this movie, they toned down the gore. It was very obvious the direction that they were heading in. You got that guy who's asleep that's going towards the wall of saws and then it doesn't show him die. Rule number 1, right? If you don't see the dude die, chances are he didn't. So right away, okay, something's weird there. The girl with the syringe that knew that $3.19 or $3.24, whatever it was the right syringe, still didn't use the right syringe. And then you have one of the most unlikable characters in this one with this bitch that smothered her kid in her sleep and said that her husband did it, and then he hung himself in prison and dooms the last 2 people. And then it turns out that, this apprentice has been working along Jigsaw's side this whole time that we knew nothing about. Jigsaw ruins all the other movies. It makes all the other movies not make any sense, so I pretend like this one doesn't exist. Also, the end scene, whenever dude gets his head split open by the lasers, such terrible CGI work right there. Whenever his head, basically turns into fucking tentacles, it looks like. It looks so bad. I remember in the theater looking at it and I'm like, dude, that looks so fake. That's supposed to be the money shot of the movie. And it was so fake. And they really talked up the spiral trap. And that ended up not being a good trap. It just wasn't a good made movie. It took every cliche from every Saw movie, put it together, and boom. So, number 10, Jigsaw. Number 9, Saw 5. Once Hoffman becomes the main guy, I started hating the franchise. First of all, Hoffman sucks. I hate Hoffman. He's got such a punchable face with his puckered lips and his fucking just... He goes against everything Saw stands for, right? He makes the traps unfair. So whenever he's the killer, it's not a Jigsaw movie anymore. It's just a guy murdering people. Which, yes, sure. Tobin Bell, he murders people. But I'm just saying, like, the traps are unfair, and Hoffman just goes through just killing people. Somehow kills an entire police station and gets away with that. And I don't know if that's in the 6th one. So, I have a problem with Saw 4 through 6. I get them confused a lot. They're very unmemorable. Saw 4... Okay, hold up. So Saw 4 is the guy with the black guy, the detective that goes through, and that's where you got that, the pedophile fat guy that gets put in that red room, hotel room, right? And then Saw 6 is the insurance guy, and Saw 5... Why am I blanking on Saw 5? See, that's why it's number 9. Hold on, let me look up the details of Saw 5 real quick. Yeah, okay, so it's the one where you got this detective that comes in and he starts to, like, investigate it, and Hoffman's the killer now, and it ends with the detective being smashed by a wall. That's Saw 5. Yeah. Didn't like that one. Hated Hoffman as the main villain. Can't even fucking remember anything about it. Moving on. Number 9. Number 8. Saw 4. Now, there are aspects about Saw 4 that I enjoyed. I like that the ending to Saw 4... The twist was that it was going on the same time as Saw 3. I did enjoy that. That was pretty cool. But that's the only thing worth of note in this movie. Don't think the traps were very good in Saw 4. You got, I believe, the chest rip open scene. And that's when you started with the unfair traps, right? That's when Hoffman starts getting introduced. And you think the games are over? No, they've just begun and blah fucking blah. So number 7 for me. So number 10 we got Jigsaw. Number 9 we got Saw 5. Number 8 we got Saw 4. Now, for number 7, Spiral. Spiral was interesting to me. I very much was looking forward to it because of its cast. Saw is not a franchise that you can say that has a lot of good actors and actresses in it, right? So, it was cool to see a standalone Saw movie going back to its roots with the star power of Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson in it. Chris Rock did not do a very good job in this movie. Whenever he was being a comedian, obviously he was doing good, but when he tried making his super, like, serious faces and shit, his just serious acting wasn't there. But I can appreciate his love for the film and wanting to make one. The traps actually weren't that bad. The twist wasn't very remarkable. Obviously, when his partner dies, again, if you don't see it on screen, it didn't happen. That told you right away who the killer was. But I like this one because of the traps. And it's more memorable than 4 through 6. I can actually, or 4 and 5 at least, I can actually tell you what happens in this movie versus 4 and 5. I get them mixed up all the fucking time. The new mascot sucks. The voice is terrible. There's not a lot of great things to say about it, but there are some cool traps in it, and I do think it's for a standalone, hey, we haven't gotten a Saw movie in a long time, except for Jigsaw. Yeah, I think number 7, we get Spiral. Number 6, Saw 6. Now, Saw 6 is the one where the insurance guy turns down John Kramer, and then he's got to go through a series of tests, and, you know, basically, his way of using insurance and applying, like, oh, okay, well, why would you insure this older lady with asthma versus this 23, like, the scumminess of how insurance companies work, right? So his game is to, like, is picking people to survive based on the criteria that he would usually use for, insuring them, right? So, like, one of the tests is you got to save this older lady or save this younger guy. The older lady has 5 grandchildren, blah, blah. This younger guy has no family whatsoever. And normally, he would save the young guy. But in this situation, he saves the old lady. Saw 6 was an interesting one. I like the motives of it. There's some pretty good kills in here. I love the acid going into the stomach, melting the dude. Fuck you, you killed my dad, motherfucker. And then, yeah, Saw 6, not a terrible one. Goes in the number 6 spot. Alright, so where are we at? Okay, so now we get on to the top 5 of the Saw franchise. So, after re-watching the first 3, I'm gonna piss some people off here. Saw 1 was amazing because of the twist, but if you watch it today, it's not that good of a movie. It's not very well acted. They show the same scenes numerous of times, like the fucking doctor walking to the parking lot. They show that scene like 7 times. It's not very, other than that amazing twist at the end. First of all, hold on. I love the music at the end of every Saw. The song, you know what I'm talking about, when it starts playing. The song, I fucking love the song. I get goosebumps every time. It was a good start, and I can see with the makers of Lee and James Wan, what was the other guy's name? The guy that acted as Adam. He directed The Invisible Man. For 2 college students throwing together a movie that created a billion-dollar franchise, bravo to them. But if you watch the movie today, out of all of the other Saw films, from what I want out of a Saw film, the first one is The acting's pretty good. The twist is amazing. That's why it's memorable. But compared to the rest of the movies on this list, I'm going to give it slot 5. Saw 1 goes in number 5. Number 4. Trying to decide between number 4. So 2 and 3. Number 4, I'm going to give to Saw 3. I don't know why, it just that balloon effect. It's never done that before. I don't do these effects. It just, okay, whatever. I don't know why we just got balloons, but, so, I'm going to put Saw 3 at number 4. Or, yeah, number 4. I think the lead guy, see, the first 3 Saw movies are decent. I like, the first one, it starts off with, here's our world, here's this game, here's Jigsaw. The second one dives into the more fucked up mind of Jigsaw, and you get to see more of the carnage. And then the third one, I think, is kind of a perfect combination of what you expect out of the Saw films. Actually, yeah, I'm going to put number 2 and number 4. So number 4 for me is Saw 2. I like the twist in Saw 2 that, oh shit, that this has actually been going on in real time, or that the films are not going on in real time, and if you would have just fucking listened to John Kramer saying, you know, to Detective, well, Donnie Wahlberg's character, like, hey, if you would just sit here and talk with me, your son, I can assure you, will be alive. So all he had to do was not get up and beat the shit out of him, and he couldn't follow that simple thing. First of all, I want to talk about Detective Matthews. He goes through some shit, okay? He gets introduced in the second movie, gets held captive and held prisoner, and then dies in, like, Saw 4 or 5. The entire time he's alive, he thinks his son is dead. Like, you start crossing the line to just, like, kind of straight depressing with Detective Matthews and the shit he goes through before he dies. I love his attitude in Saw 4 or 5, whichever one he dies in. I think it's 4, where he just says, fuck you, and jumps off the block of ice because he's just so tired of it. Yeah. So, number 4 is going to be Saw 2. I like the twist. I like that we get into the mind of Jigsaw a little bit more. And then we are introduced to, oh shit, this girl was the apprentice. But, I mean, it was kind of obvious that she was an apprentice if she's in the game a second time. You got the needle pit scene. You got some good stuff. You revisit the bathroom and you see Adam's skeleton. Good things in here. Saw 2 is not too bad. So that's going to go in the number 4 slot. Number 3 is Saw 3. Because like I was just saying, I think Saw 3 takes all the elements of what makes a Saw movie and makes them good. So, like, the traps are amazing. You got the personal favorite, what's it called? Don't help me. What's it called? The one where the guy, you know which one I'm talking about. The one where the black guy is fucking, everything twists. His arm twists, his legs twist, his neck gets twisted. God damn it, what is it called? It's Jigsaw's personal favorite. I cannot remember the name of it right now. But, and you're following this dad who lost his son to an accident. Now, the dad is extremely unlikable, but after becoming a parent and watching this one, I appreciated it a little bit more. The things I didn't like about it are, like, so basically, you know, his son gets killed, right, by a driver, not a drunk driver, just a driver that wasn't paying attention and accidentally hit his son. And you have a witness and a judge and the driver, and basically the driver got off scot-free, no punishment. And so this guy's series of tests is going through and basically making the decision to either forgive and let live the people involved or kill them. And every single fucking time he gets to one of the people, he spends 5 minutes yelling at them and then decides he's going to save them, but by that time it's too late. He does it every fucking time. And then simultaneously, you got this girl with a shotgun necklace that's performing surgery on John Kramer, and her test is keep him alive or she dies. Right? And then you find out in the end, oh, this girl actually is married to the guy that's going through all the tests. And then John Kramer dies. Amanda, it turns out it was Amanda's test this whole time. It basically takes all the things that make Saw great and puts it into one movie. You got good twists here. You got good motives behind the traps and the story. You got a lot of different tests for different people involved. You got great traps. You got a lot of gore. The twist is pretty good. Yeah. Saw 3 is going to be at 3. And it pisses me off that the 4th one immediately kills the guy in Saw 3. He goes through all that just to fucking get shot and killed at the end of Saw 4. But, or beginning, or the end. Yeah, the end. Sorry. And, yeah, so Saw 3 at the 3 slot. I love how whenever dude goes and kills John Kramer with the saw, that he just, like, as he gets sawed in the throat, he pushes the play button on the fucking tape. You would not be able to do that, but he gets sawed. He's like, fucking pushes the play button. And anyway, so it ends up being a test for everybody, and that's where we get the death of John Kramer and the death of Amanda. And good twist, good trap scenes. Now, my top 2. Now, if you've been counting, you know which 2 are left, and you're probably amazed at which 2 are left. I'm going to put the second one, number 2, Saw 10. Saw 10 was a very nice surprise. See, what happens when you put John Kramer as the center of your story? You get a pretty good story. And then you got unlikable protagonists. I hated the ending to Saw 10, but I can understand that they're building up to something more. But I love that it's a revenge type deal. Like, these people are horrible people taking advantage of John Kramer and other people that think they're having their cancer treated when in reality they're not. And they're just stealing thousands upon thousands of dollars. And you got some brutal traps in this motherfucker. That bone marrow trap, amazing. The brain surgery trap, amazing. You got some good shit in this movie. And I think if you go and you watch all the movies in progression and then watch Saw 10, it does make John look a little too much like a hero. Because, like, you dive into the mind of John Kramer in Saw 10 a lot more, and he really seems like kind of a good guy. The way that it's able to make you root for him as a good guy that's good storytelling. But then you got shit like Saw 2 and 3, where he's killing people for wanting to kill themselves. So, like, I don't know. If you watch them all in a row, Saw 10 kind of makes him a little too soft in comparison to how he actually was in 2 and 3. But the twists are good. The traps are good. The story is good. Now, so Saw 10, you're at number 2. Now, guess which one number 1 is? That's right. Saw 7, baby. I am one of the rare motherfuckers that love Saw 7. It's my favorite one. First of all, the opening scene is fucking hilarious. You got 2 guys fighting over a woman, and she's up here going, I love you. No, wait a minute, I love you. And then, I guess we're breaking up with you, bitch. And then gets the chick sawed in half, and it's a public execution. Funny opening scene, okay? And then you got this guy who pretends that he was a Saw victim, and he wasn't. So whenever he gets put in a trap, he fucking deserves it. You got some brutal traps in here. My personal favorite trap out of all of them is the fishhook one. Like, that is an agonizing... I could not imagine anything more agonizing than that. You got a girl that has a fucking fish hook with a key down her stomach, and she's got 4 things pointed at her throat, and if she screams while this guy is trying to jerk the fish hook out, she'll get impaled by these spikes. And when he's pulling it, and I mean, he's pulling that motherfucker, you can just hear it, like, grabbing the inside of her, and whenever it comes out, it's got, like, chunks on, like, to me, that's the most brutal trap of this franchise. That hook, gross. But then you got the scene with Chester Bennington where, you know, it's such a badass scene. Like, yes, the effects are terrible because it was in 3D. I will give it that. But you have some amazing deaths in here. The Chester Bennington scene, so cool. 3 deaths in 1. All of them are fucking cool. You got the fish hook. You got the impale one. Very simple but very brutal, where the chick gets the impaled through the eyes and the mouth. It looks so fucking brutal. You finally get to see the reverse bear trap go off. I hate that it gets done on Jill, but you finally get to see it. 7 movies in, and we finally get to see it. And then Hoffman's ass gets caught, and it circles all the way back to Dr. Gordon, baby. How could you not be happy with that? I've seen so many people say, well, the twist is obvious, obviously. I don't think that was ever supposed to be a twist. I don't think the twist was ever supposed to be that he was an apprentice. I don't like it. Why would they have put Dr. Gordon in the beginning of Saw 7 if they expected you to, like, I don't think it was meant to be a twist. It literally opens with Dr. Gordon after he cut his leg off in the first one. It's supposed to be the ending. It's supposed to be coming full circle. And as a story, I think it did that. What I like about Saw is that if you watch them all, it does have one continuous story. Whether it gets repetitive and boring after a while, it's up to you. But Saw 7, I fucking love it. I love it, man. You got some brutal deaths in here. You got the reverse bear trap. Hoffman gets his just desserts. Dr. Gordon ends up being the main apprentice. The opening scene is hilarious. I mean, yeah, the blood is pink. People are right about that. Some of the dialogue is shit. The dream sequence where you see Jill get hit with that one thing is shit. There are some shit things about this movie, believe me. The reason why I am putting it above Saw 10, because Saw 10 debatably does have a better story. It was basically around the time it came out. I was in high school, and, you know, I had been keeping up with the Saw franchise ever since, and Saw 7 really impressed me. And, yeah, it was at the time when 3D was in. I saw it in theaters, saw it in 3D. Like, as cheesy as it was, you got the kill count in this movie is probably at its highest. And then, like, yeah, like I said, you get to see Hoffman get his just desserts. Fucking Saw 5, where it ends with Hoffman winning. I don't like that shit. I hated it. Saw 6. God, which one? Which one? Well, because Saw 6, Hoffman's just going around just straight up murdering people. Yeah, because Saw 5, it ends with him getting into the ground. The detective gets smushed by the wall. And then Saw 6, Hoffman is after Jill and killing everybody. No. Saw 6, he's after Jill in Saw 7 because he puts her in the reverse bear trap. But Saw 6 ends with Hoffman in the bear trap, and lucky motherfucker gets it pinned in between the window. Yeah, okay. So I'm remembering things right now. So, yeah, Saw 7, I thought it was a good ending. You know, circled back to Gordon, got to see Hoffman get caught. Fuck Hoffman, locked in the fucking original bathroom, left to die. Fuck Hoffman. And that fish hook scene, along with the Chester scene, the impalement, the guy having to do the guy being such an unlikable dude pretending to be in a fucking Saw trap, he deserved it. A lot of good things about it. Finally get to see the reverse bear trap. Funny opening scene. Like, Saw 7 is a very guilty pleasure in my mind. And I know that I'm going to be on an island with this one. But, yeah. So there's my list. Let's go through it again, baby. Saw 10. In last place, we got Jigsaw. Jigsaw fucking sucks. I'm going to pretend like it never happened and that it's not canon. Hate it. Doesn't make any sense. It makes all the other movies not make any sense. Number 9. Saw, dude, you could just put 4 and 5 in the same fucking slot, honestly. Number 9 was Saw 5. Yeah. Number 8 was Saw 4. Number 7, what did I say? Was Spiral. Yeah, it's number 6, Saw 6. Number 5. Oh fuck, I fucked up. No, yeah, number 5, Saw 2. Saw 1. Sorry. Number 5, Saw 1. Number 4, Saw 2. Number 3, Saw 3. Number 2, Saw 10. Number 1, Saw 7. 3D. I know you're gonna disagree with me. That's fine. But, dude, I don't understand the hate that Saw 7 gets. Like, a lot of people hate on it because, like I said, the twist. I don't think there was ever supposed to be a twist. I don't think Dr. Gordon being the apprentice was a twist. I think they were telling you that by introducing him in the beginning. Like, yes, he's going to be the apprentice. Like, if it was a twist, like, you weren't supposed to know, like, I don't think they were going for it as being a twist. So when people say it's a horrible twist, I just don't. Why the fuck would they put Dr. Gordon in the beginning, literally following him after he cuts off his leg? Like, obviously the point is to show you he's taking over. I don't think it was meant to be a twist ending. It was the answer to what the fuck do we do about Hoffman, and I'm glad that motherfucker got his just desserts. So yeah. Jigsaw. Saw 5. Saw 4. Spiral. Saw 6. Saw 2. Saw 1. Saw 2. Saw 3. Saw 10. Saw 7. There you go. That's the Saw ranking from me. I'm really looking forward to Saw 11 and seeing the continuation. It's so cool that they came out with a hit. Because I'm not going to lie to you, after Jigsaw came out, I did not think Saw 10 was going to be very good. But it was. It was a great fucking movie. It is a better written movie than Saw 7. Like, it's a better all-around movie than Saw 7. But I'm giving Saw 7 the first one place because best kills, got rid of Hoffman, see the reverse bear trap finally, funny opening scene, circles back to Gordon. What more could you want? You know, and we may have differing opinions on which traps are the best traps, but that fishhook one, that's the grossest trap to me. That one was fucking brutal. That's the one trap that was hard for me to watch. Even over the bone marrow one, even over that trap is oof. Oof. When you see how hard he's pulling the fish hook up and you know that it's like caught on something, like, oof. And then it's got that little chunk of meat. And then he's like, why couldn't you just shut up? Like, fuck you, you pussy. Like, what do you mean, why couldn't you just shut up? That would be one of the worst things ever. And then the simple impaled in the eyes and mouth, it looks so brutal, you know? And then the Chester scene. Wow. You got a lot of cool kills in this one. And then I like the way that the, story wraps up. So yeah, Saw 7 is my number 1. I doubt there's a single person out there that's going to agree with that, but whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching.